Yo, Don Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Don Mafia Report. You read the title correctly. We're about to be going through a couple of running back options that I think the Buffalo Bills should consider targeting once free agency is in full swing. But guys, let me just take a moment and appreciate the craziness that the 2020 NFL playoffs has brought us. A bunch of revenge, especially from the Buffalo Bills moral aspect. Number one, the Texans just so happened to blow a 24-0 lead. For weeks, I heard nothing but, oh damn, the Bills blew a 16-0 lead. But then, the Texans, they just upped the ante, ladies and gentlemen. And then maybe it's some type of karma. Maybe it just had to do with that the football gods understood that they were getting away with a bunch of bullshit calls, and they just unleashed Patrick Mahomes to throw up 48 to 51 points on them unanswered. It was absolutely abysmal, and I loved every second of it. And then the Ravens.
Big trust. Woo woo.
Now on in the future of the NFL, you never rest your starters that damn long. The Baltimore Ravens rested their starters in Week 17, and then they also had that bye week, and then they ended up coming out super rusty. Big rust. And what the Tennessee Titans finally proved to the entire world, which I have been screaming from the rooftops since the very first kickoff of the NFL season for the Buffalo Bills: run the damn ball. That needs to be the Buffalo Bills' identity. It really does. And what a tremendous segue. There are a couple of running backs that I really want the Buffalo Bills to look at in free agency. Now, Devin Singletary is clearly our guy. He was in the top 5 for yards per carry. He may not be the fastest, he's not the biggest, but he does make defenders miss, and he has proven to be the guy that we need to move forward with. And I'm so excited. But now there's a lot of questions, right? Frank Gore, if I was a gambling man, he's probably going to hang up his cleats this year. If not, I don't foresee the Buffalo Bills signing him for one more year, especially at his age. And then, of course, you have TJ Yeldon, who is still a question mark. He could be a sleeper, but realistically, ladies and gentlemen, the Buffalo Bills are going to be looking into free agency or the draft to sort of build a two-headed monster and build what I believe our identity to be a run-first team. Now, like I said, I've compiled 4 of them and would like to go through them together, but first I have to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Tavour. If you are a craft beer lover and you do not have the Tavour app downloaded on your phone today, what are you doing? This company is amazing. They continuously send you craft beer from all over the world right to your front doorstep. So now you're able to try the taste of craft beer from sea to shining sea. And so you can actually get $10 off right after you spend your first $25 by simply just typing in the code DONMAFIA once you sign up for the application. That link is in the description. All right, guys, so without further ado, let's dive into some of these running backs. Carlos Hyde. I know, Dan. What the hell are you talking about, dude? Why would we go after Carlos Hyde? Well, ladies and gentlemen, he is exactly the hard-nosed runner that the Buffalo Bills need. And fun fact, he might have had the most least celebrated 1,000-yard season in 2019 in NFL history. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Carlos Hyde ran for 1,000 yards. Who knew? This is the type of guy that's not looking to score points for your fantasy team. He's the guy that wants to run defenders over, which I personally think would be a fantastic mix to pair him with Devin Singletary, where you have a Carlos Hyde who's going to be that strong, bull-like runner that's just going to punish D-lines. And then, of course, you have that complement with Singletary, who's going to be able to make you mix and run off to the outside. And so right in 2019, he averaged 4.4 yards per carry, had 6 rushing touchdowns, and 55 first downs. Now, I mean, that's absolutely incredible, especially since the way that Houston sort of used a 2 running back scheme for him to be able to put up those types of numbers. Now, would I say that he's like a Derrick Henry? No way. Or would I say that he's like a Kenyon Drake? Probably not. But I do think that we could get him for a very attractive price. According to Spot Track, Carlos Hyde is worth about $3 million per year, and his market value contract was a 2-year, $6 million something contract, which I think is a fantastic investment, and you're getting a lot more bang for your buck. And that is exactly the type of move that I could foresee Brandon Beane going with. Number 2 is going to have to be Lamar Miller. Now, I completely understand the guy has been sitting on the injured reserve list for the Houston Texans since the preseason, I'm pretty sure. So, he's been sitting there for a little while. He's the exact same age as Carlos Hyde, but the only problem is that he has about 300 more carries in his career than Carlos Hyde does. And we all know that we gauge a running back's age by the amount of touches that they have. But with Lamar Miller, he far exceeds the amount of touches with Carlos Hyde. Since being with Houston, he has racked up about 3,000 yards and 13 touchdowns in his very short career. Now, this is a running back that I think that we could even get cheaper than Carlos Hyde and get him on some very small 2-year deal, because this one's going to have a little bit more risk. He tore his ACL, and I'm not sure about you. I'm no NFL general manager, but I do just so happen to be a GM of a championship fantasy football league.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
And my strategy last year and this year was the fact that if there was any type of serious injury that a running back, a wide receiver, or a quarterback went through 1 or 2 years prior to that, then I didn't draft them whatsoever. Would be skeptical to extend him a lucrative deal, especially because of his injury history. But when Lamar Miller is healthy, he's a stud. He really is. Jordan Howard. This right here, this is probably the ideal pick that I would love to come to the Buffalo Bills. Number 1, he's young. He's only 25 years old. He would complement Devin Singletary by sort of having a hybrid running style compared to Devin. Right throughout his short career, he's averaging close to 4.3 yards per carry. And right out of all the years where he has stayed healthy from week 1 to week 16, he has ran for over 1,000 yards. 1 year, I think it was like 987, but let's go, people. Let's just round up. This past year with the Eagles, we all remember when he came to Buffalo and he absolutely torched us. That's the guy I'm talking about. 6 touchdowns this year and 30 on his career. With Jordan Howard, he would probably be, say that it was up to me, he would be the number 1 target that I would like to go after. Number 1, because he's not going to cost us too much money. He's proven that he is a very, very capable running back that could back up Devin Singletary or sort of be like a running back by committee for the Buffalo Bills in 2020. Huge Jordan Howard fan. Huge Jordan Howard fan. All right, now this next one, this is a little controversial. And as long as my boy doesn't kick any hookers from now on until free agency, I wouldn't mind taking a look. That's right, Kareem Hunt. Last year, we all know that he was serving his suspension for the antics that happened the previous offseason, and he only ended up playing 8 total games. But while he was doing so, he was averaging 4.7 yards per carry. And so like I said, the guy is super, super young, and while he has had his behavior issues in the offseason in the past, I think that he might be worth taking a look at. Now, granted, he is a restricted free agent. So, without getting into too much detail, a restricted free agent is essentially somebody where he can look out for other contracts, but say that he does sign for a team, then the team that already has the rights to him can sort of give a matching offer, and they automatically can bring them back. And then there's like first round tender, second round tender, third round tender. We won't get into that specifically. But the way that Nick Chubb was running for Cleveland this past year, it really doesn't make sense to have somebody like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. It really, really doesn't make a lot of sense to have both of them on there. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Cleveland Browns would be shopping around Kareem Hunt. And like I said, based off of his off-the-field issues these past couple of years, I'm not seeing him carry in some ridiculous type of contract, that's for sure. So that could be another running back that we could look into. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you are going to say, Dan, what about Derrick Henry? What about Kenyon Drake? They're going to be super expensive, guys. They're going to be super, super expensive. I'm pretty sure that Spot Track had Derrick Henry going for like $19 to $20 million per year. I think Kenyon Drake was close to like 14 or 15 a year. That's just the market value, granted. But that's not something that I see Brandon Beane writing a check out to. I really, really don't. So there's definitely some things to consider. But besides that, guys, free agency is a super exciting time. I think next video, what I'll do is I'll probably look into some of the defensive players that I would absolutely love to target in free agency. Do me a favor and comment below what type of videos would you like to see, especially since it is the off season. There's really only so many free agency videos that I can do. But yeah, just let me know. Thank you for tuning in to yet another edition of the MAFIA Report. And as always, let's go Buffalo.